Wassail Beautiful People, look, it's a Roman temple. So, I'm in Évora. This is a temple that was built in the 1st century Common Era. And it was dedicated originally, they believe, to Augustus when he was the living god emperor. Since then, it's been attributed to Diana, it's been attributed to Apollo. It's never really certain the truth. But we're going to dig in, we're going to have a little look and see what the energy of the temple would like to talk to us about. So, I want to say it was ransacked by the Visigoths for some reason. So, what is the energy that we have here? There's an energy of... This card represents yes or no. What is the true answer? It's the energy of confusion. It's the energy of not being certain. It's the energy of holding yourself in a kind of frequency of stillness without deciding how to move forwards. So the temple itself is talking about this energy of indecision. You know, what is this temple? Why is this temple still here? What has this temple been? And then we have Treasure Island. So we have that notion of the space being something that brings up and delivers to people a kind of magical energy, a wonderment. I have that sense of the energy of wonderment. So can you please explain a little more? What's the indecision? What's the indecision around? Why is there a sense of not naming yourself, not remembering yourself? What is this energy? You see, this temple has often been believed to be dedicated to Diana, Iana, the moon, and that's believed to have been started by a priest in the 17th century. But also it's been attributed to Apollo, which is the sun and the moon. We've got that energy of both. So there's something about... I'm seeing Janus in my head. I've been seeing Janus in my head all morning on the way here. I have to say that on arriving in the city, there was a sickness within my stomach, like an anxiety, like the energy of... fear of moving into the future. There's something about that frequency. So, what would you like to tell us, please, Temple? What are the old energies that you have to help us right now? What are the energies that you would like to teach, talk, tell? What would you like to tell? Okay, so we have the Five of Pentacles and the Priestess, the High Priestess. It's 5 and 2. This is that energy that we had in the solar eclipse reading. We are very much still in solar eclipse territory. But I'm seeing this in its traditional sense of an excommunication. And that's quite interesting because the Catholic Church has recently come forwards and used that language again in reference to Joe Biden. I'm not interested in the politics of anything. I'm merely pointing out the echo of the word excommunication, because there's something about these two cards that's saying we keep trying to throw a net over the things in life that we don't want to embrace, that are actually future frequencies that we should be enjoying. But there's something about a fear of being... it's like being caught in somebody else's energies. It's control. That's what it is. It's talking about control. And control was never the purpose of the temples. It was never the purpose of the truth behind religion. I might have to skip back slightly because we're getting a bit too much of Apollo's light. So we'll just move back because otherwise we can't see anything. I hear bells ringing now. So, what else would you like to say, please, about this? It's boundaries again. It's kind of dark Eve energy. It's energy of manipulation, like the people took a worthy energy and tried to use that energy to create a level of manipulation in others. Right, we've got quite a lot of cards. We're definitely dealing with Janus energy. So look, we have 1 and 2. This is interesting though. I've never seen these two cards come out together before. I need to put them down that line. Because the sunlight's saying to me, the sunlight is the cosmic energy of us, our living energies, and that the yin and the yang is the energy filling the vessel, our consciousness filling the vessel. But it's also talking about how restrictive life is, because once our 13 frequency consciousness enters the 12 frequency, it's much more difficult to move into new energies, to explore new ideas. And it's the time to go, Divine 9. It's a time to go. It's a time to move forwards now. And being over the sea, throughout the sea. So it's like, so the energy I'm getting is the notion of, I need to pull us back a bit because we're getting more and more sunshine. Eventually we're just going to be, that's interesting. They're saying that you have to open yourself to new frequencies, but that you mustn't allow your new frequencies to create boundaries and borders around you. So it's like the temple itself is talking about the freedom. Oh, okay. So in the medieval period, thank you, temple. In the medieval period, they filled this temple with a new building. They filled in all of the holes. They earthed up the building. And then on top, they built a tower. They built a new building. And eventually, at some point, it was worked out that we just couldn't keep, or they couldn't keep, that energy alive. And it was time to free the building from its constraints. And yet, this game I'm playing now with the light, of shifting myself backwards so that you can see the temple, is slowly reducing the energy of the space above, the air frequency flow. And they're saying to me, don't allow yourself to become bound in, because it's interesting. This was destroyed, as I said earlier, I think, by the Visigoths. And it used to be that you could walk all over the temple, you could explore, but it's very much boundaried, barriered. There's more and more areas around saying that you have to keep away from these frequencies. And you have to build walls, you have to build structures. And actually what we really need to be doing is opening our boundaries, opening those structures that exist around us. So let's just ask for a few more cards here. It's very difficult to focus fully on the energies here because there's a lot of people around, and when I sit down to do this, it draws people's attention because they want to know why I'm talking and what I'm talking about. and then you begin to feel their energies pushing in. I'd feel them pushing into my focus. So we had the 5 of coins, this excommunication energy, but there's 5 of cups now that's like an excommunication of our ability to flow properly with our emotional language, and what look, both of these, the pentacles have been bust open. They're structureless, so just like the walls coming out, they're just reminding me that we need to open our whole physical being to a new energetic, emotional, physical freedom, winds of change. We've got our little old friend, the Tower. That was also in yesterday's solar eclipse. Solstice reading. This idea that the structures, the form, the walls that built around all the physical and emotional things that we hold dear have to come down. They have to be removed now. They have to be transformed. And that's her net. Yes, you fear a net being thrown across you, but the net allows us to breathe anew. Okay? So let's get another Portuguese oracle. I feel like that shaft of light that's dividing my face, I'll sit this side, is becoming ever stronger and ever more like the blade of the sword of truth. It's like the energy in this reading is trying to bring in something new, a new clarity. So we have the tribe. We're seeking our tribes at the moment. We're seeking to nurture each other. We're seeking a new frequency. And then it has the fates, the nuns, as moiras. And they've been very much on my mind all morning because I've been speaking with the artist who's working on the rune deck with me. And she was talking about a wonderful embroidery in the V&A. Hello, Olga. That's to do with the image of the fates, but it's an embroidery, it's a tapestry, it's woven just like our lives are woven in and out of time, but also in and out of our tribe. There's something very tribal. I'm getting that energy of how an object like this can serve a purpose in its original form, as it was made, maybe for the god emperor Augustus, but also it can then be used and manipulated and woven into the fabric of all different societies. And there's something about now where it's just an object that has no connection. It's almost like we've become the first society that takes the amazing works. I need to come back a bit more. We might need to pull the mic back across too. I'll just shift backwards so that you can still see. But as I said, we're getting more and more bound in by the walls. We're the first society that has taken the beauty of objects created by our ancestors and just stopped our own usage of them. It's like the energy of the temple is saying, I don't just want to be... Oh, you see, that's the same as the stones yesterday. These objects hold energetic memories of human existence, and we have turned them into objects to not touch, but only to look at. And that seems a real shame. That's the energy that's coming across more and more. So let's just tip the... We're being bound in. We need our freedoms. We'll have our freedom at the end. I'll lift up and we'll go for a quick show and tell. I'll get my flip-flops back on. So, this energy of restriction, this energy of not touching, this energy of not being involved in the true history of our existence, what would you like to say about it? Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands, Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon. That's all they want to say. It's about spiritual warriors, but it's about how the energy of the past was a passion that drove creativity, and that somehow we are no longer utilizing that same passionate thought process to drive a creative process that's of any benefit. We've been using the wrong kind of energy. This is eclipsing again, though. What's eclipsing? What's eclipsing? What's eclipsing? Please explain what's eclipsing. What's eclipsing? Heart. The card of the heart. The card of the Garden of Eden. The card of pleasure. The card of growth. We need to grow. We have to grow. So that's a 9 and a 6. What else would you like to say, please? What else would you like to say, please? Home. We've got a peacock on this card. We're going to come back a little bit more because we're losing image. So I need to just bring that back. So, oh look, you can see my t-shirt now. I am coming back to this reading with the home. You can see my t-shirt. This is the deck of cards by Yoshitani that I couldn't seem to lay my hands on. I couldn't manage to get past the customs, and unfortunately DHL just couldn't be bothered to deliver them to me in the end. So, but I love them so much that I've had a t-shirt printed because I'm trying to manifest an ability for DHL to get them to me. It's been 4 weeks. They're in customs and DHL won't send them. But anyway, home. It's like the energies, these were homes to people. They were homes to priests and priestesses. They were homes to communities. They were hubs to communities. These ancient buildings lived, they breathed. Okay, that's interesting. So they lived and they breathed, and we've almost squeezed and dried all of the energy out of them so that there's no longer anything in existence within them. I'm getting woman. I'm getting that sense that there's definitely priestess, female deity. So I'm kind of getting that sense that we're not really dealing with Augustus, but maybe it was built with the intention of being something else for a female deity, and then at the last moment it was dedicated to Augustus because he'd been elevated to the status of living god emperor. So there's something about the false emperor energy. Now that seems to come up in readings with Cindy, and Cindy and I were talking last night about how Diana was born on Cynthius, and the great Hyacinth came up, and it links to the derivation of her name Cindy. I'm not saying Cindy's a living goddess, but you are in many ways. So I'm getting the sense of Diana. I'm getting the sense of the moon. I'm getting the sense of this place having its original intention it's like they're saying that the 17th century priest, he created that story because it's almost like he intued the truth of the original frequency that the building's intention had. So we have, look, it's a nun in a tower, but it's again, it's the other tower card that we had in the solstice reading. So let me just grab these that are in the bag. So we've got two towers. Again, it's like we have a choice. Which lifestyle do you want? Do you want to follow your own heart, the loss of the heart, the suppression of the heart? Open your heart to new emotions, and then you can have a new energy frequency. We have a whole series of court cards that came with this energy of Diana, Iana. We have the Princess of Swords, Ninlil, who draws energy back together. The drawing in of a new frequency is what I'm getting from this temple. I just need to drop that down a little bit more because I think I might need to just swing us. There we go. Hello. So it's like changing angles. The whole point of this reading is I have to keep moving the angle so that we can see the appropriate part of existence. I kind of want to do that. And then we've got dark and light. We've got sun and moon. There's something Janus within the original intention, because Janus was Janus, Ianus, and Iana, which became Diana. These two knights are saying, look back with passion, look forwards with love, or the reverse. So there's this energy, and I've got these two figures again, this notion of duality, sorting out the point in our duality where we place our markers. So we've got the Prince of Discs. This is a slow moving frequency. This is a change that's coming upon us with the passage of time. We've got a lot of energy of passageways turning up. So I'm just going to grab, because I'm feeling a little bit garbled now, I'll be honest. I'm feeling the energy of the temple, but I'm also feeling everybody else's energy is buzzing around me here at the moment. So let's pull this one to an ending, because there's a lot of garbling energy coming up. It's almost like the gargoyles, like the need to vomit out the past. So, co-create, concreer. There's a cosmic egg that is only openable by us and our own frequency. And that egg is a beautiful new air epoch future. And then we have these two cards, 1, 4, 3, 4. It's about, again, it's that reading the solstice. We're getting these same energies. Open a window into a newer future. Clean up the old. Don't keep looking at the mirror of the past because it's done with. Open a window into the future. And then I'm getting this card which is all about, for me, this is the energy of, it's like Divine Mother. It's goddess energy. It's the energy of birthing. But it's also the energy of caring for, not the young, but the vulnerable. Somehow. Giving a ride, carrying others that are frightened is the energy that I'm seeing. So, anyway, that's a little reading here at this temple. I hope you enjoyed it. I have to stop because the energy coming from people now is actually muddying the thoughts. There's not enough clarity in this space for me to keep my focus just on the energy of the temple. Okay, so anyway, wassail and have a beautiful day, people.